dear students. Today, the topic under discussion is oxides and hydroxides of period 3 elements. In this slide, we will discuss the oxides of period 3 elements and their physical properties. The oxides we will be discussing today of period 3 elements are sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, aluminium oxide, silicon dioxide. Phosphorus has got two oxides, P4O10 and P4O6, sulfur trioxide and sulfur dioxide, and chlorine also has got two oxides, Cl2O7 and Cl2O. And then later on we will be discussing the hydroxides of period 3 elements and their behavior. Physical properties of the period 3 oxide. In this table, we have covered three important physical properties of these oxides: structure, electrical conductivity in molten state, melting and boiling point. The oxidation state of sodium in sodium oxide is +1. In magnesium oxide, it is +2. In aluminium oxide, it is +3. Silicon dioxide +4. Phosphorus has got two oxidation state, P4O10. In P4O10, the oxidation state of phosphorus is +5. In P4O6, the oxidation state of phosphorus is +3. Sulfur trioxide has +6 oxidation state of sulfur, and in sulfur dioxide, the oxidation state of sulfur is +4. Cl2O7, the oxidation state of chlorine is +7, and in Cl2O, the oxidation state is +1. Now let us discuss the structure one by one. Sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, and aluminium oxide. These three are metallic oxides, and they are having giant ionic structure. There are strong attractive forces, strong electrostatic forces of attraction between the positively charged metal atom and the negatively charged oxide ion. Silicon dioxide is having giant covalent structure, macromolecule, just like diamond. P4 from phosphorus to chlorine, they are molecular covalent compounds, and they are having weak van der Waals forces between them. Now let's compare the melting boiling point of these oxides. As we know that the giant structures, they will be having high melting and boiling point because a lot of energy is required to break the strong bonds, whether it is giant ionic and giant covalent. So we can say that sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, and aluminium oxide, along with the silicon dioxide, due to giant structure, they will be having high melting and boiling points. The oxides of phosphorus, sulfur, and chlorine, they consist of individual molecules. The attractive forces present between them will be van der Waals forces, weak dispersion forces, or dipole-dipole forces. These forces vary in size, vary in strength because of the difference in the sizes and polarity of these molecules. So we can say that they exist in gaseous or low boiling liquids. Let's compare the electrical conductivity of all of these oxides. The electrical conductivity of sodium, magnesium, and aluminium oxide is high because of the presence of the ions, free moving ions in the molten state. These oxides do not conduct electricity in the solid form, but in the molten form, the ions are free to move. Silicon dioxide has giant structure just like diamond, so the electrical conductivity is very low in this particular case. From phosphorus to chlorine, there are no ions present, so there is no conductivity of these oxides in the solid as well as in the molten form. Let's compare the melting and boiling points of these. These three, along with the silicon dioxide, they are having high melting points because of the strong electrostatic force of attraction and giant ionic and giant covalent structure in the case of silicon dioxide. remaining the other three, they will be having low as compared to remaining oxides, previous oxides. Now let's discuss hydroxides and their behavior. Hydroxides are compounds in which OH group is bonded to an element. Sodium and magnesium hydroxides. These contain hydroxide ions and are simple basic hydroxides. Let's discuss their basic behavior. These are both basic because they contain hydroxide ion bonded to a metal atom. Hydroxide ion is considered a strong base. Both of these, they have the ability to react with acids to form salts because they are showing basic behavior, so they will react with acids. For example, with dilute hydrochloric acid, they react to form salt and water. Next comes the aluminium hydroxide. Aluminium hydroxide is amphoteric in nature. What does the word amphoteric means? Amphoteric means dual nature, both acidic and basic properties. Aluminium hydroxide can show acidic as well as basic properties. It can react with both acids and base. Let's discuss its basic behavior first. Like sodium or magnesium hydroxide, it will react with the acids, and in this particular reaction, as it is reacting with the acid, it is showing the basic side of its nature. With dilute hydrochloric acid, a colorless solution of aluminium chloride is formed. Aluminium hydroxide will react with the hydrochloric acid to form aluminium chloride and water. Let's discuss its acidic behavior. Aluminium hydroxide has also an acidic side of it to its nature. It will react with sodium hydroxide solution to give a colorless solution of sodium tetrahydroxoaluminate. The reaction is as under. The remaining hydroxides, the hydroxides of silicon, phosphorus and sulfur, they all have OH group covalently bonded to these atoms. They all show acidic behavior. These compounds are all acidic, ranging from the very weakly acidic like silicic acid to very strongly sulfuric and chloric acid. The structures of these acids, they are written. The main factor in determining the strength of the acid is how stable the anion is after the hydrogen is removed. This in turn depends on how much the negative charge can be spread around the rest of the ion. If the negative charge stays entirely on the oxygen atom left behind from the OH group, it will be very attractive to hydrogen ions and the acidic behavior will be less. The lost hydrogen ion will be easily recaptured and the acid will be weak, just in the case of silicic acid. The negative ion on the oxygen atom will remain on negative ion. It will not move along the rest of the ion. It will not spread along the whole molecule, and as a result, the hydrogen ion lost will be recaptured by the negatively charged oxygen, and as a result, the behavior of this particular acid will be less, will be weak. On the other hand, if the charge can be spread out over the whole of the ion, then it won't attract the hydrogen back very easily, and that in that case the acid will be strong. The negative charge is delocalized, is spreaded by interacting with the doubly bonded oxygen. As you can see that in phosphoric acid, one element double bond oxygen is present. There are two doubly bonded oxygens, and in this particular case, chloric acid, there are three doubly bonded oxygens. So we can say that the maximum delocalization of the charge, it happens in chloric acid. The negative charge in this particular case in phosphoric acid spreads in two bonds, These two bonds will then be identical after delocalization. In sulfuric acids, there are two doubly bonded oxygens. So along with this bond, these two bonds will also behave identically. Yeah, we can say that the negative charge is delocalized over these two bonds as well. But in the case of chloric acid, as there are three element double bond oxygen bonds, so maximum delocalization takes place over here. All the bonds, all the four bonds, they will be identical. Orthosilicic acid is very weak. Phosphoric acid is a weak acid, some but stronger than organic acids. Sulfuric acids and chloric acids are both very strong. The main factor in determining the strength of the acid is how stable the anion is once the hydrogen has been removed. How much the negative charge can be spread around the ion. If the negative charge stays entirely on the oxygen atom left behind the OH group, it will be very attractive to hydrogen ions. The lost hydrogen ion will be easily recaptured and the acid will be weak. On the other hand, if the charge can be spread out over the whole of the ion, it will be so dilute that it won't attract the hydrogen back very easily. The acid will then be strong. Let's consider the example of chlorate ion. In chloric acid, the ion produced is chlorate ion. The structure is written as the negative ion. The negative charge is delocalized over the whole ion and all four chlorine-oxygen bonds are identical, just like this. This is the reason that chloric acid is strongest among all of them. Thank you.